Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Chaffee, and we have Tropical Storm Earl that has now formed in the central Caribbean. This is out of that strong, very vigorous tropical wave that came across the Leeward Islands a couple of days ago and really was pretty well defined all the way across. And the Air Force reconnaissance aircraft was in here this morning. They were able to close off a circulation center roughly near 16 north and about 80 west. And it looks like they found a fairly low pressure, 1,002 millibars, and winds probably in the range of 40 to 45 knots. So we're going to see how this progresses. It's moving toward the west and along 16 north, which is probably going to take it somewhere north of the Central American countries of Honduras, and then head perhaps toward Belize or the southern part of the Yucatan Peninsula. But when we look at the structure of this, there's a fairly well-defined area of core convection near the center. You can see right here is the island of Jamaica, so the center is actually south of the island, and they're probably experiencing some tropical storm conditions or near tropical storm conditions, at least in terms of wind gusts, along with some rain. But the core of this is to the south. Now, in terms of where it's going to go in the longer term, it's all being dictated by a very strong ridge that spans across the southwest Atlantic and continues and into the Western Gulf states and into Texas and beyond. This kind of narrow east-west ridge that is really just going to stay in play here pretty much right through the forecast period. So when we move it along, you can see that ridge just kind of builds back eastward, and there's really no hole or any kind of troughing here to draw this system truly to the north. Although some of the models do want to take it perhaps a little bit further north when it gets into the Bay of Campeche, but it's going to be hard to fight this big, strong ridge that is up to the north. I'm going to show you two hurricane models with regard to this. This is the HWRF model, and this is not the newest one. This is the one from last night. So I'm just going to back it off a little bit. Let's go back to the beginning here so you can see it. It actually is a little more aggressive than some of the other ones in terms of the strength. It does probably take it almost to a minimal hurricane here as it goes to inland near Belize, and then just kind of straddles its way inland and west from there, and eventually it looks like it emerges out into the Pacific. Now, the GFDL model, and I'm just going to tell you that there's a lot of variability with these models, and I'm not sure which one to rely on yet. This is kind of like the first test, but as it moves westward, let's take it along here. It takes it a little, just a shade further north into northeastern Belize, across the Yucatan, and then into the Bay of Campeche, and then probably up somewhere near Tampico from there as a strong tropical storm, or possibly even it gets to a minimal hurricane again. So this track is a little further north, probably because it does have a bit of a weaker system. So maybe at the lower levels, there's a little bit more room for a slightly more northward component of motion, but it's going to be pretty tough to do. I mean, when you're starting out here at 16 north and about 80 west, which is just about there. Okay, so it's kind of you're going from here. This is pretty far south. If it was up closer to 20 right now, you probably would favor it more going into the Gulf of Mexico. But these again are the overnight models. So now that there's new data and there's going to be plain data going into all of this, we'll probably have maybe some slightly different outcomes in terms of what the longer term guidance is with regards to this. But if we're sitting at 16 north at about 80 west, it looks like the core of the convection is more on the eastern side, and that there isn't too much going on the western side. So we'll keep an eye on this and watch what happens. There's another tropical. This is the old tropical wave that was near the Cape Verde Islands. And by the way, you can see this upper low that's spinning out in the Atlantic, and it's creating shear conditions here. So that's why this wave got pretty much ripped apart. There's another stronger wave that just came off the African coast behind it. And I will take a closer look at what the profile is across the Atlantic over the next several days with regards to that. So have a great day, and we'll have continuous updates on Tropical Storm Earl on my website, meteorologistjoechaffee.com. And of course, don't forget to check out all the latest on the local severe weather, breaking weather on S&S Storm Chasers, your place to go for storm chasing and storm viewing.